Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, delivers everything fans could want from a modern Soulsvania. It combines the deliberate, punishing combat of a Souls-like with the exploration and backtracking of a classic Metroidvania, all painted in a world that feels both haunting and beautiful. Every environment looks like it was pulled straight from a dark fantasy painting. Crumbling villages, cursed forests, and towering Gothic citadels come to life through a handcrafted art style that balances grim dark horror with rich, high fantasy detail. You'll be able to choose from 6 unique classes and 6 talent trees, giving you the freedom to experiment with wildly different builds and playstyles. Whether you favor brute strength, precise dexterity, or powerful spellcraft, Mandragora rewards creativity and mastery. Combat feels deliberate and tactical. Enemies move with purpose, giving you time to read their attacks and react. Checkpoints are smartly placed, keeping the challenge tough but fair. With its painterly visuals, thoughtful combat, and rich progression systems, Mandragora, Whispers of the Witch Tree, is shaping up to be one of the most exciting Soulsvania experiences on the horizon. When it comes to pure satisfaction for fans of Souls-like combat, Nine Souls easily sits at the top of the list. It takes everything you love about precise, punishing gameplay and distills it into a stylish 2D world. Imagine Sekiro's razor-sharp parry system, but side-scrolling, where every clash of blades feels like a test of focus and timing. Here's the catch: if you don't master the parry, you won't last long. Even the first boss can completely crush you if your timing is off. But when you do land that perfect parry, it's pure bliss. Each successful deflection charges talismans embedded in your enemies, and after a brief delay, they explode in a burst of satisfying destruction. And of course, it wouldn't be a true Souls-inspired experience without brutal boss fights. Every boss in Nine Souls feels like a duel, fast, unpredictable, and relentless. Just when you think you've got their patterns down, they shift into a second phase that pushes your reflexes and patience to the limit. But that's what makes victory so rewarding. When you finally master their timing and land that final blow, it's not just another win. It feels like conquering an impossible challenge run in Dark Souls. Ghost Song is a haunting Metroidvania that drops you into the shell of the Dead Suit, a mysterious wanderer who wakes on the desolate moon of Lorien with no memory and no direction. Your only path forward is to explore, survive, and uncover the truth of who you are. The world feels truly alien, quiet, lonely, and filled with strange, hostile life. Every tunnel hums with eerie energy, and every encounter keeps you on edge. You'll find the occasional ally, but most of the time, it's just you and the darkness. Your suit's armed with both a blaster and a melee strike, and the combat ties them together in a clever way. Fire too long, and your blaster overheats. But that heat supercharges your melee attacks, forcing you to constantly switch tactics mid-fight. Ghost Song blends atmosphere, tension, and challenge into a lonely journey that feels as beautiful as it is unsettling. Skelethrone, The Chronicles of Ericona, is a Metroidvania built for players who crave punishment and payoff in equal measure. In the early hours, almost everything can one-shot you. Even basic enemies hit like trucks, forcing you to slow down, study their patterns, and approach every encounter with patience. The world of Skelethrone is dark, grim, and drenched in atmosphere, drawing heavy inspiration from Dark Souls. You'll trek through haunting landscapes, avoid sadistic traps, and uncover lore in a place that feels hopeless yet strangely captivating. The art direction and soundtrack work together to pull you deeper into Ericona's oppressive mood. Through its world, combat, and challenges, Skelethrone delivers a gripping and punishing Metroidvania experience that's hard to put down. Grime is one of those games that looks so bizarre, so unsettling, that you almost can't look away. Its world is dark, surreal, and aggressively hostile. A place where even the ground feels alive. Jagged fingers of stone curl out of the earth, and every creature looks like it was sculpted from equal parts rock, bone, and nightmare. Combat in Grime revolves around one central mechanic, the absorb parry. But this isn't your typical sword clash or shield deflection. You don't wield traditional weapons at all. You fight with your head. Time your parry correctly, and instead of blocking the attack, you absorb the enemy straight into the singularity in your skull. Absorbing enemies doesn't just keep you alive, it heals you and unlocks traits that change how you play. You can gain abilities like healing after a successful absorb, boosting your damage, or even sensing hidden secrets tucked away in the environment. In a world this hostile, you'll need every single advantage you can get. Every now and then, a game grabs your attention the second you see it. Afterimage is absolutely one of those games. Its hand-drawn visuals are stunning. Vibrant colors, fluid animation, and environments bursting with life you play as Renee, a wandering heroine trying to restore peace to a land shattered by a mysterious catastrophe known as the Risen. Renee sets out across a massive fantasy world filled with ancient ruins, strange magic, and secrets waiting to be uncovered. Combat begins simple with just a sword and a quick backdash to avoid enemy strikes. But soon, you'll unlock new weapon types, each with their own playstyle. Heavy great swords that crush enemies, lightning-fast dual blades, even whips that hit repeatedly. With its gorgeous art, rich world, and flexible combat, Afterimage is a Metroidvania that's as beautiful to look at as it is satisfying to master.
Renee, you were always the special one, granted with the gift of the gods. Gift without equal.
If you're looking for a brutal challenge, Moonscars more than delivers. This is a game that demands precision, patience, and a willingness to learn from every mistake. Death in Moonscars isn't just a slap on the wrist. Losing can cost you valuable buffs and bonuses, and the bone powder you collect, the game's core currency, must be carried with you until you reach a safe spot to upgrade your abilities, known as wishes. That means every encounter, from the weakest grunt to the toughest boss, has real stakes. The combat reflects that intensity. You're constantly weighing aggression against survival, looking for the perfect moment to strike. One of the most satisfying mechanics is the parry, a shoulder button check that, when timed perfectly, flows into a devastating counterattack. All of this is wrapped in a world that's gloomy, oppressive, and beautifully bleak, with fluid animations and haunting visuals that match the game's punishing tone.
Momodora, Moonlit Farewell, marks the fifth entry in the beloved series, and it feels like a confident evolution of everything the franchise does best. It's a Soulsvania that stays challenging, but aims for balance and fluidity rather than punishing difficulty spikes. Instead of overwhelming you, the game focuses on creating a smooth, responsive combat experience that rewards timing and careful movement. Enemies hit hard enough to keep you alert, but never so hard that the game feels unfair. The real standouts are the bosses. Each one brings unique patterns, gorgeous animations, and tight, memorable fights. And defeating them isn't just satisfying, it grants you new abilities that expand your combat options and open up fresh routes. Exploration is just as rewarding. Hidden upgrades are tucked away everywhere, boosting your health, mana, and stamina. Finding these secrets makes every detour feel worthwhile and encourages you to fully explore the game's beautifully crafted environments.
Deepening Fire is a stylish blend of Salt and Sanctuary, Tales of Iron, and a dash of Hollow Knight, coming together to create a fresh take on the Soulsvania formula. One of the first things you'll notice is that there's no stamina bar, which makes fights feel a bit more fluid than traditional Souls-likes. But that doesn't mean it's easy. If you die, you'll still have to retrieve your lost soul, keeping tension high. Attacks can be cancelled mid-animation, so timing and precision matter. There's also a satisfying parry mechanic. Nail that perfect parry, and the enemy is staggered, giving you a big window to unleash damage. Pulling it off feels incredibly rewarding, the kind of moment that makes you want to run it back just to do it again. The game also leans into RPG elements. You can level up, manage armor weight, and shape your own playstyle. Whether you prefer speed, tankiness, or heavy-hitting builds, Deepening Fire gives you the tools to craft your ideal fighter. Ender Magnolia is an impressive sequel to Ender Lilies that surpasses expectations. It carries forward the melancholic beauty of the original, while expanding the world, the lore, and the emotional weight of every moment. The atmosphere in Ender Magnolia truly shines. The world is grim, yet breathtaking, filled with ruined villages, glowing underground caverns, haunting forests, and eerie mechanical dungeons. The handcrafted art, smooth animations, and haunting soundtrack blend together to create a dark and enchanting world. You play as Lilac, a young girl wandering a fantasy land on the brink of collapse. Here, souls are trapped inside artificial bodies known as homunculi, remnants of a world struggling to survive its own creations. Lilac has the rare ability to free these trapped souls and use them in battle. She doesn't wield weapons herself. Instead, her allies fight for her. This creates a combat system that feels fresh, tactical, and incredibly satisfying as you swap spirits, build combos, and customize your team.